Going on, everybody? Back at you once again. Going for my walk like I always do. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between skills and talents. Okay? Skills and talents. Now, many people probably hear those two words and think that they're the same. Well, in some cases, they can be interchangeable, but for the most part, they're actually quite different. Now, I looked through the definition for talents and skills, and the definitions are quite different. Now, the definition for talent, paraphrasing here, is an innate or something that you're born with, a gift, if you will, something that comes to you naturally, easily. Some people probably work a lot for, all right? That's a talent. When someone says like this person is gifted, they do it so naturally, they call them talented. Now, the word skill, if you look up the word skill, and you look up the origin or the etymology of the word skill, it comes from the Latin word ars, A-R-S. And that word is where you get the term art from, like an artist. It literally means skill, right? That's in between a talent and a skill. And a skill, the definition of a skill is the application of acquired knowledge or something that you work towards, work to perfection. I'm paraphrasing again, but that's essentially what it means. Something that you work towards. So essentially, talent is something that you're born with, and skill is something that you work at. Now, a person can be very talented, but not very skilled. Okay? And a person can also have no natural talent, but what they do have, they work towards it to make it a skill. Like, no one is born to be a carpenter or an electrician. Those are skills. However, there are people who play the piano who are very, very musically inclined. They just have a knack for it. They gravitate towards it very easily. All right? Now, the thing is, talent gets you but so far. Talent is good to have. Talent can get you in the door. Talent can get you recognized. Okay? Talent will bring the people to you. Skill, however, is really what keeps you relevant. It keeps you known. It keeps you popular. It keeps you paid. All right? A talent, I'll put it myself. I have a natural gift. I'm an artist. Now, for the most part, I am self-taught, or the term is autodidactic, self-taught, okay? I come from a family of artists. So it's in the genes, as they say. It's in the DNA, it's in the blood, as they say. However, I, having a knack for painting and drawing, sketching, I enjoyed it so much that I continue to do it and continue to improve. thus turning my talent into a skill. Okay? It took me many years to develop my talents into skills. Many, many years. Over 30 years, to be honest with you. I mean, as far back as I know, the earliest drawings that I've seen for myself came when I was 2 years old. And I'm 33 now. So that's 31 years of continuous practice. All right? And many people always used to ask me when I was younger is, how do I learn how to draw? How do you do it? Because they obviously see you can do it. But the question is, how? Now, the how, once you learn to answer the how of a question, that's when you have turned your talent into a skill. Okay? And this is the equation that I've come up with. All right? A skill is your talent divided by the time. Okay? So, if you have a natural talent, okay? You have your natural talent that everyone knows you for. You're gifted athletically, you have a certain analytical skill, artistic skill, things that come to you almost naturally, almost second nature to you, okay? If you take the time, if you take your talent and go over it in time, or divide it by the time, you will turn that talent into a skill, because every time you practice your talent, you gain a new set of knowledge, and more information. You gain certain tricks of the trade, as they say. Certain things, if I want to do a painting, there are certain tricks or skills that I know that if I'm using watercolor or acrylic paint, if I do a certain way, I can get different results. And all a skill does is help you simplify what comes naturally to you. To sum it all up in a nutshell, your talent can be easy to you, but it's complex to others. The outside world can't understand or comprehend how you're able to do what you're able to do, what seems so easily to someone else. You may see it as, I just do it all the time. It's practice. I don't know. I just do it. That's the answer I used to give. How do you know how to draw, Chris? I don't know. I just do. I just know how. I don't know. It was a talent. As I got older, I started to learn more information about art and what art actually meant. 'Cause remember, I told you before, the word art comes from Latin, and it means skill. So if you heard about sports like the art of basketball, they have a phrase called the art of the mid-range jumper. Why is it an art? Because in order to perfect a jump shot, you would have to practice. Anybody could throw a basketball into a hoop. Everybody can do that. But how many people can throw a basketball into a hoop effectively and efficiently with a high percentage every single time? Everybody can't do that, but everybody can actually if they were to practice. Throwing an object is not a skill. Everyone who has arms can throw an object, but the accuracy with which that object is thrown takes skill. That takes time. That takes practice. So you hear the term the lost art of the mid-range jumper. Shooting the jump shot with a high proficiency is an art. It's a skill. The same thing with painting. If someone would have asked me, do you know how to draw a face? I can say yes. If someone were to ask me, can you teach me how to draw a face? I can also say yes. Why? Because I perfected that trait, that act so much that I've broken it down to a science. Here's another word for you, science. Science also comes from the Latin word scientia, which means knowledge. So you have science, which means knowledge. You have art, which means skill. You have math, which is the Greek word for knowledge. So you have Latin, which is science, and Greek, which is math. They both mean knowledge. Art, which is Latin, it means art, which is skill. So you have the knowledge and the skill. So the arts and sciences, it literally means skills and knowledge. Think about that. All right, so the difference between talent and skill. Everyone has a talent. Now, the talent may not be the same, but everyone has a talent. But not everyone is skilled. Okay? Everyone can become skilled if they put the work in to perfect their talent. Okay? Keep that in mind. The difference between talent and skill. Talent is what you're born with. Skill is what you work at. Okay? All right? Talent, you're born with. Skill, you work at. When you have no more talent, your skill is what comes in. Okay? Talent is what get the people to come to you. Skills will get you paid. Okay? Talent is for money. Skill is for paper. All right? Keep that in mind. See y'all later. Peace.